Hello everyone, this is Professor Pham. Today I'm going to talk about the 5 lessons I learned during investing. I think everyone should learn it, especially if you just started. I did not learn this lesson from books. I learned this lesson from scars, from losing money. Some of the mistakes cost me more than $100,000 to learn. So let's get started. By the way, this is not investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purpose. The first lesson I learned is that don't wait until you're an expert to start investing. People wait for perfect moments. When they read enough books, they have full confidence, they start to investing. The truth is that investing is not about learning knowledge. You can be a bad investor even though you are expert on paper. The hard part is one thing, is pulling the trigger to make that trade decision. When I first started learning options, at that time, I only knew the basics. What was a cash secured put? What is a covered call? And I went straight to my brokerage account and make a few investments. At that time, I still remember I made roughly $1,500 and I think it's amazing. And later on, everything I learned becomes meaningful. When I learned the Greek letter, I think my learning speed is 10 times quicker because everything I can put into practice right away. And I have real money on the line and I get real feedback, real consequences, and real emotion. So you can start small, but get started. The second lesson is about learning experience from others. Avoid making those big mistakes. If you make, that's fine, just make only one time. Do not make it again. So this one really hurts me. My story is that I started to invest in real estate and I bought a few houses. Later on, I think, okay, everything looks good. One time I come across a real estate. It's a fourplex, looks very good. The rent to price ratio was about 3.7% per month, which means that every month you can get 3.7% of your whole property value back in rent. I did some naive divide out and find that I can recover all my initial investment within over a little 2 years. Everything looks very attractive on paper, but the only thing is that it's at the edge of a bad neighborhood. I read many real estate books, and every book told me one thing: location, location, location. You have to buy a property in a good location. And I think it's okay. Nothing's gonna happen, right? Within like 2-something years, I can get all my money back. What can go wrong? So I directly give the cash offer. The problem in real estate is never the property. It's fine. It's about the people. And the tenant caused damage intentionally and, many issues. And the repairs pile up and it cost me a lot of money. And later on, I have to sell it out. Then I truly understand why every single real estate book say location, location, location. I see investors full of scar learning those 3 words. I should have learned from the experience and avoid that property, but I did not. That's fine. But I told myself one thing: I make this mistake only one time. I never make it again. So lesson 3 is about the taxes. A lot of people may think, okay, it's just a small percentage, it's fine. But let me do a math. Suppose you have a certain strategy. After tax, you have 10% of annualized return. And if you are less careful, less smart with your tax strategy, and your annualized return after tax drop by 3% to 7%. If you invest $100,000 this year, and in the next 40 years, the strategy 1 with an annualized 10% after-tax return will grow that $100,000 to $4.5 million. With a slightly drop performance due to tax, that 7% after-tax annualized return will give you only $1.5 million. That's totally $3 million difference. So same person, same strategy, just a different approach to tax. That will give you a day and night difference. That's why I recommend a lot of young people to start a Roth IRA account. Starting from 2026, you can put $7,500 into Roth IRA. Some people may think that's small money, right? I don't care. But over the long run, that Roth IRA will make a big difference. Lesson 4, be careful about the time value of money. So here's my story. When I bought my first house, I have a decision to make between 15-year mortgage or 30-year mortgage. At that time, the monthly payment of 30-year mortgage is $1,000 less than the 15-year version. So I choose the 15-year mortgage because at that time I simply think, okay, every month I put $100 more, but I only pay 15 years instead of 30 years. That sounds reasonable, but if you consider the time value of money, that's not a good idea. Because if you choose 30-year mortgage and invest $1,000 a month for 15 years, if you assume an S&P 500 average performance, that will grow to $400,000. That's a lot of money, right? If you invest in this way for 30 years, that will become $2 million. So if you consider the time value of money that you can invest in S&P 500, then 30-year mortgage is a better version. I'm not telling you that the 15-year mortgage is always better than 30-year mortgage. What I'm saying is that you have to consider the time value of money. The fifth and the final advice is that never blindly follow anyone in investing, not even me. I've made many successful investments, for example, in real estate, and I bought Rocky Lab at around $4 per share. Now it's like more than $80 per share, and I hold a lot of those. And for example, early years, I made a video about energy companies, and I did invest in every single one of them. Now, within only 2 months, I get a return ranging from 30% to 50%. So those investments are the ones that I really study. I did not blindly follow somebody else. And on the other hand, some of the investment at the very beginning of my investment endeavor, I just blindly follow somebody else, and some of them just go to zero. Why? Because investing is deeply personal. People that you're listening to may be a day trader. In the morning, he thinks it's a very good investment. In the afternoon, he sells everything. But your time horizon is different from his or her, eventually lose money. And also, everyone has a different financial status. Somebody may say, okay, I will all in this, buy the dip. But the word all in has a different meaning in different person. Maybe that person has built a very successful business. He has several diverse passive income every month. So he can cover his life experience very easily. Maybe somebody else just graduated and he put everything in and eventually has to sell at the lowest point. These advices I learned all from my personal experience. If you think they are good, please share and subscribe. I will see you next time.